Using Next Farming, you can get the best possible yield from your fields by optimizing the use of your resources. At the same time, you ensure healthier and more resistant crops by optimizing the supply of nutrients for the plants while taking the new fertilization ordinance into account. With the Next prescription maps, it is easy to start variable rate cultivation. In the menu, first click on Prescription Maps, followed by Create Prescription Map. First, select the field for which you want to create a prescription map. By clicking on a field, the GIS zooms to the corresponding boundary. A grid of dots is now placed over the field boundaries. These represent a square area of 20 by 20 meters. The grid can now be color-coded manually or automatically to show the different areas, for example good and bad zones, and cultivate them using variable rate application. Click on one of the colors and move the cursor with the mouse button held down over the grid to manually color in the dots. You can then define precise values, for example 180 kilos per hectare, to be applied the various colors. Make use of your experience, recent field assessments, or the results of soil samples. Alternatively, you may color in zones based on satellite imagery. To do so, make the dots more transparent under Map. This is the map icon. You can now draw in various areas on the basis of the satellite image. Next, reset the transparency again. Now specify the kind of prescription map you want to create, for example, fertilization. Then select the fertilizer you want to use. Based on the nutrients contained in the fertilizer, you can now adjust the zones precisely. For example, NPK 2488. 80 kilos of nitrogen should be applied in the green zone. A minor adjustment might be made to the exact nutrient to obtain a whole number for the actual fertilizer application volume. The same procedure can be used for the other colors. Under Values, the sum total is displayed, which is important for the calculating of the nutrient requirement of the new fertilization ordinance. You can also see the average applied. To find out more about the actual yield potential of different soils, additional information is required. This may be soil type maps, GPS referenced soil samples, yield maps, etc. With Next Farming, you can load these quickly and easily into your account and put them to use for your operation. You can also create prescription maps, which are automatically created on the basis of background information. In the area Background Layers, you can, for example, upload a Talking Fields basic map. This displays the relative biomass differences of past years. In the dark area, there was more biomass in the past years than in the bright area. If there are no maps yet in your Next Farming account, you can upload them using the plus symbol. You can buy Talking Field maps under Modules, Apps and Services. By clicking on Fill Grid, the zones are automatically filled with the corresponding application volume. However, you can still edit the application map manually. Don't forget to save it. Experience of FarmFacts and our customers show that it is more useful to exploit the potential of good zones than to try to turn a bad zone into a good one. Therefore, we spread more fertilizer on the dark area and less on the bright one. Get the best yield with optimum nutrient supply. With the display of the sum total, you can also stay within the requirements of the fertilizer ordinance. Of course, these farming decisions are ultimately up to the farmer, but we are happy to offer advice. If you would like some expert advice, the competence of the FarmFacts Academy is available to you. If you want to upload sensor data, GPS referenced soil samples, or other files as shapefiles, you can do so under Background Layers, Temporary Layers. However, these are not saved in your account and must be uploaded again when you next log in. You can customize Next prescription maps for fertilization, sowing and plant protection, and the corresponding parameters under ISO XML settings, the cogwheels. This also defines how the machine works outside the boundary and without GPS signal. By default, no resources are applied outside the field boundaries. No matter how you created the application map, based on experience or on satellite maps, you can export it to ISO XML or shape format using the buttons in the footer. At this point, the next prescription maps becomes chargeable. You can either book a flat rate or download this information for €2 per hectare of prescription map. Before using the prescription map, use the function visualize ISO XML to ensure the correctness of the downloaded map. Once you have checked the prescription map, you can save it to a USB stick and plug it into your tractor terminal. On our Next Farming YouTube channel, you will find explanatory videos demonstrating the import of the next prescription maps on various terminals. To allow you to use the prescription maps with your machines, the following criteria must be met: a tractor terminal and add-on device conforming to ISO standard. The terminal and add-on device must be able to process prescription maps via VRC, variable rate control, and GPS at the traction unit. If you have automatic steering control, you already have the good basic setup for starting with smart farming and variable rate application. With the Next Wayline Converter powered by Fuse and the Next Wayline Manager, you can then convert them to different manufacturer formats. If you have further inquiries or need any help, the Next Farming support is there for you.